So, team one, this is everything you need to build your part of the produce pod system. So, first of all, you need the large white tank. This is going to be the fish tank. It's got the Farm Urban sticker on the front. Then you need the white box that's got some of the plugs and parts for your LED light in it. You've got the timer socket, which is for the LED light. The LED light and bracket itself. So the bracket's already attached to the plug, and then the light we've already put on the inside for you, so that's stuck in. You need the metal bar, which has got the light strip stuck on the front. You should find some sort of plastic plant for your fish tank in your box. It might not look exactly like this, but there'll be something in there for your fish. And you've got the bag of sand, and that's going to go in the bottom of your fish tank. Okay, your first job is to wash the sand. So this is the really fun part for you guys. So you need to take your bag of sand and you're going to ask your teacher for some buckets or a bucket and go head over to the sink. Now we're going to wash the sand. So you need some sort of bucket, anything's fine but quite big to get the sand and a good amount of water in. I'm going to use this white one here. So carefully take the bag of sand because it's quite heavy and it's just a plastic bag, so we don't want it to break. Over the bucket, lift the inside bag out and then just tip the sand into the bottom of the bucket. So you put the bag right in, you'll make sure not to spill any sand on the floor. Okay, and then once the sand's in, we're going to fill it up with some water and then we can give it a rinse. Okay, so I filled the bucket with water, a little bit more than half full, so quite a bit of water to clean the sand, but not too much that it's going to flow over or slosh out. So once the water's in, you just need to stir the sand a little bit in the bottom. So get your hand in and grab some sand and just swish it about a little bit so you're giving it a good clean and a good rinse. And you'll probably see that the water starts to get a little bit dirtier. And once you've done that for a few seconds, then you're going to rinse it off. Okay, so once you've given your sand a good swish about, got some of the dirt off, you need to drain this water off. So very carefully over the sink, you want to slowly tilt and pour the bucket and gently let the water go down the sink. And then as you get towards the last bit of water, the sand might start to come and tip out. So you want to just carefully hold your hand in place to stop the sand from falling out and just let the water go. So it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of water left in the bottom, that's fine because your fish tank is going to be full of water anyway. We're just trying to clean the dirt off the sand. Okay, so with the sand cleaning, you need to add the water, swish the sand around and pour the water off about 3 or 4 times. And what we're trying to do is to check for when the water's really clear, and that means that all of the particles and dirt have come off the sand. So this is the 4th amount of water that I've added to the bucket. I'm just going to check, it looks quite clear. I'm going to give the sand final swish around, and the water will look quite brown because the sand's mixed up moving around it. But if I just leave that then for a few seconds, all of the sand will start to settle and sink back down to the bottom of the bucket. And then if I have a look, then the water looks quite clear. So I'm happy with that now. and that I think is ready to go into the system. So for now, you're just going to put the bucket with the sand and the water in it to one side, and when the rest of your teammates have finished building the produce pod system, then your team is going to add the sand to the tank. Okay, once you've finished washing your sand, you just need to tidy up. You'll have these bags that the sand were in, which you need to throw away. So you can throw these in your normal waste. Although they're plastic, they're actually degradable, and that means that they're going to break down and they're not harmful for the environment. Okay, once your sand is rinsed and clean, it's ready to go into the fish tank. So take the large white tank, carefully lift your bucket over the tank as much as possible so you're not going to spill any water or sand on the floor. And then you want to put your hand in and try and pull as much sand as you can out with the water still in there. That will make it easier for you to get the sand out of the bottom. So maybe 1 or 2 people can hold the bucket and 1 or 2 people can pull the sand out. And then once you've got most of the sand out, should still be quite a bit of water, you can just tip the rest of it in. Okay, and then you're going to take your plastic plant and place that in the bottom too. So give your sand a bit of a move around and spread it out so it covers all of the white at the bottom. And then just decide whereabouts you want to put your plant. You're not going to add the rest of the water yet, so you can always move this later on if you change your mind. You can see there that the sand's covering all of the white at the bottom, and then I've just put the plant in the back corner and just leave that in there for now, and we'll add some water shortly. Okay, next we're going to look at the LED light fitting. So you've got the light with the fixture and you need your timer. The packet for this, you can just open up the plastic and take that out so it's ready to use. Okay, so this is the timer that you're going to use with your LED light, and it's going to control when the light comes on and off, because we don't want the light to be on over the plants all the time. Have a think about why that might be. So on the timer, you can see all the numbers around the edge, and this is for every hour of the day. So it starts at 1 o'clock, which would be 1 o'clock in the morning, and goes all the way around to 12 o'clock, which is lunchtime, and then 13 is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it keeps going all the way to 24, which would be midnight, so 12 o'clock at night. So what you need to do first is set the correct time on the timer, which is where this black arrow here points to. So at the moment, the arrow is pointing to number 10, which means the timer thinks that it's 10 o'clock in the morning. If it's 1 o'clock, for example, in the afternoon, you just turn the timer around slowly until it reaches the number 13, and then that means that the time is now set to 1 p.m. So once you've done that, then you need to set when your light is going to come on and off. So you could have the light on from maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m., to 7 o'clock in the evening, 7 p.m. To do that, you're going to push the pins down between number 7. So the pins are the black bits, and if I push there, you can see that they're coming down now. So I go all the way around the outside edge, pushing down the black pins, and I'm headed for the number 19 because this is 7 o'clock at night. So when I get here, very carefully, I'm just going to find the correct pin that lines up to the number 19. Check that the pin here is lined up to the number 7. And then that means that for these 12 hours, the light is going to be on. And for these 12 hours, the light is going to be off. Okay, once you've set your timer to be on for 12 hours and off for 12 hours, you just need to plug the LED light in. So just check first of all that the cable is all nice and straight, so there's no knots in it. I think I've got a bit of one here, so I'm just going to make sure that I unravel all of the wire, get all of the kinks out, and then just plug that one into the timer socket. And just check on the side where you've got this red switch that the switch is pushed down. So that means that it's set to timer. If you push it up, it means the lights will stay on all the time. So make sure it's down at the bottom. Your next task is to get the LED metal bar ready. So you can see the LED strip on the bar here. This box has got the plugs and connections for the light. So open the box, and first of all you're going to take out this white connector box and the black plug. Take the bit of wire off the plug and then put this into the bottom of the white connector box, so that connects the plug up to the connector. Then take the piece of the connector that's got 4 small holes in the bottom and connect this to the black piece on the end of your light. So you'll see that that's got 4 small pins, and they're just going to slot into the 4 holes from the connector box lead. And then that's ready to be plugged in a few minutes time. You'll also find in this box a controller for these lights. So these lights are just partly to make your system look a bit nicer. You can change the colour of the lights. You've got red, green, blue and white. You can do disco lights as well if you want to, but actually because this goes over the fish tank, we don't want the fish to get too stressed out by too many colours, too many different lights. So we recommend that most of the time you just keep it on white light, and then it's nice and calm for the fish. But maybe once a week you can have a little party and throw the disco lights on.